All right, we can probably kick things off here. So let's get started. So welcome officially to Design Faster and Connect Smarter, which I'll admit sounds a bit gimmicky, right? I mean, I do assure you though today that we're going to dive into the legitimately powerful design platform provided by CELUS, but specifically how you can design in wireless connectivity with Blues using this platform. Now, I do have our typical webinar logistics to cover first. Of course, as you have questions during the presentation today, please ask those using the Q&A panel that's provided in the bottom of your Zoom UI. All of us here today, Carolina, TJ, and I, we're going to be here to answer as many questions as we can as they pop up throughout the presentation. And as time allows, at the very end, maybe we'll do some public questions as well. And I always love to head off this question that we always get, is this being recorded? And of course it is. Yes, it's being recorded. It's going to be available on the Blues YouTube channel at this URL. Exactly when, I don't know, tomorrow, the next day, but it'll be soon. Plus we'll send a follow-up email out so they have a link to the recording in there. So let's start off with our speakers today. So first and foremost is the wonderful Carolina from CELUS, who is a customer success engineer and really providing the most important part of our presentation today. Next, TJ Vintol, he's our principal developer advocate here at Blues and is here to mostly provide moral support, but also to answer your questions today. I'm going to be your MC. I'll be providing a little more context around Blues for you all and providing sort of a bridge from Blues to CELUS. So let's talk agenda really briefly. Again, we're going to kind of start by introducing the high-level topic at hand, kind of the theme of the webinar, if you will, why we're all here. And to provide a little more context, especially for those who aren't familiar with Blues, I'm going to give a very brief overview of what Blues is all about so that everything kind of makes more sense as Carolina talks about it. But again, the most important segment will be provided by Carolina as she covers the use of the CELUS platform. So a lot of good stuff in store for you today. Now, let's start with the why we're all here. Not in the philosophical sense, unfortunately, but to start, I'm gonna tell you about a problem that we are seeing at Blues. Not a bad problem per se, because it's a problem that has to do with scaling. And like any given IoT project, we're gonna start with some kind of rough prototype. And with Blues, that prototype always involves a note card and note carrier for connectivity, right? Some host MCU, maybe a breadboard if it's really raw. But then we start scaling our prototype up to 10 or more devices, which is great, right? But when we start looking at the BOM cost, using off-the-shelf prototyping hardware doesn't really fit the budget, nor is it appropriate, for any kind of given deployed product. Now, those of you new to Blues, I'll warn you right now, don't worry about understanding exactly what our product terminology is, because we will get to that. Though I can tell you that when I reference the note carriers, they are basically development boards or carrier boards that act as the interface between your host and our wireless module, the Blues note card. But back to our prototyping scenario, maybe we're thinking we will start scaling with the Blues note carriers, and that's great, that's fine and all. But for example, note carrier F, which while full of features, is not really cheap at scale, and it's also kind of large to fit in a given product or a given enclosure. Note Carrier A is another fantastic board that we offer. It's got onboard antennas. It's a little cheaper than the F, but it's also not tiny. Then you have the X, which is certainly small, but again, maybe not down to the right price point for many product budgets. And again, when I talk about product budgets, I'm talking about when you start scaling 1,000 devices or more. So this is why we also have the Note Carrier XM, which is a minimal note carrier that it's very small, has castellated edges for embedding in your product, and it's only $5. Now, this is a great option for many of us, but not all, which is why we also open source all of our note carrier designs, because when you're trying to minimize costs, you likely want to build in your own custom carrier into your design. That's why we provide these open source design files on schematics for all of our note carriers that you can definitely use for the basis of your design. Now, problem solved, right? For some of us, well, some people, yes, other people, not so much, because for some of us, we still run into issues. And because hardware is really hard, right? It's hard to do right. And it's not because we don't know what we're doing, it's just complicated. I don't know a better way to say it. So what we are seeing is what you see here, right? People are coming to our support forum and they're asking for help debugging their custom carrier designs. And that's great and that's fine. And we will always do our best to help. But often it's a pretty hard thing to debug hardware remotely. So we need to think more about how we can help you all earlier in the process. Now, one way we do that is we do offer a free design consultation service called MinSpin, and this is available if you're scaling to 10,000 or more units. So it's not really in reach for a lot of our kind of mid-sized customers. So maybe there's an even better way of simplifying this whole process. And this is truly where CELUS can help us, because with the CELUS platform, you can go from prototype to a full BOM with schematics and layouts, part selection as well, like really helping you avoid many of the mistakes and other issues that, again, that we kind of see on almost a daily basis. And we'll come back to that. But first, I want to take one tiny step backwards again for those of you who are new to Blues, new to the Blues ecosystem. I do want to provide a little overview of us here at Blues, the Notecard and Notehub, just so you know how we approach wireless connectivity, and this will all make a lot more sense with CELUS. So you've heard me say the word Notecard. It is our core hardware product. Notecard does enable wireless connectivity for your product, but it's not just a modem. It does contain a radio, but also components, circuitry, all that to make it function as a standalone wireless connectivity module. What does it do? Well, if I can really simplify it, I think of it as occupying this really boring space, this part of cloud enablement that you don't really want to deal with, right? You're good at building your product. You're good at building your cloud application. We provide that seamless bidirectional data flow between the two. But what gets people really excited about Notecard? The first is that our cellular Notecard provides global reach. It also ships prepaid with 500 megs of data, 10 years of service. There's no monthly SIM fees or anything like that. You can also literally connect your product to your cloud in 2 lines of JSON code. It's also built to be low power, consuming 8 to 18 microamps when idle, depending on the type of note card you're using, and I'll talk about those in a second. It also uses the aforementioned note carriers as that interface or as a development board for working with your chosen host MCU. Now, I mentioned this, but there are plenty of note card options depending on the radio that you need to use. Cool thing is they are all swappable, both in terms of that physical connector, that M.2 connector at the bottom, and the fact that you only use one API the same way to program all your note cards. So this allows for truly mixed deployments, like mixed radio deployments, with one set of firmware running your multiple fleets. Now, to really understand Blues, you need to understand that Notecard is only half of our story. The other half is our cloud service that we call Notehub. Out of the box, Notecard knows how to securely connect with Notehub, regardless of the radio that you're using. It will sync its data with Notehub, and then you'll configure Notehub to sync or route data to your cloud application, whichever cloud app it may be. So really providing really easy to use bidirectional data transferring. And if you haven't gone there yet, check out our developer guides and docs at dev.blues.com. You'll get a better picture of everything I just threw at you there in like 3 minutes. Now, before I hand everything over to Caroline after that introduction, I want to make sure you're aware that literally every Blues product is not in CELUS yet. This is all really new to us. But these, I want to make sure you knew, these are the available note cards. So there are mid-band, wideband, and narrowband cellular options in there. And there are a handful of note carriers as well. Now, again, this is just the start of our partnership, but as you're designing a scaling product, I would especially recommend looking at the XP variants of note card and note carrier, as that is where you're going to see the most cost savings. And if you have questions, hit us up. We can certainly help to answer those because it's kind of a complicated complicated scenario to address in a short amount of time here. But with that, I want to officially welcome Carolina to the stage, and I will stop sharing.
Okay, thank you, Rob.
Yeah.
And I will start. Okay, so I think you guys can see the welcome page. Yes?
Yep, it looks good.
Okay, so thank you, Rob. I'm Carolina. I'm from CELUS. I'm customer success engineer, and I'm here to show you how to use the CELUS design platform. Our platform is for free, so you just need to go in app.celus.io, register, and log in our platform and start to use. Okay? Before I start to talk about what we provide to you, we provide to you one PDF with all the information regarding your project. We also provide you one CSV with all the bill of materials that you are going to use in your project. And we also provide you one project package in the EDI tool that you are going to choose. Right now we have three different options: Altium, Fusion, and the KiCad. Okay, so when you register in our platform, you probably are going to see something very similar to this. So this is our welcome page. And here is the part that we are going to talk today is the feature projects. Okay, the feature projects, they are some ideas or some projects that you can use in your design to have something to start. And today we are going to see the blues content that we have. Okay, so as you saw, I put some filter and then I choose the blues options. As you can see here, we have three different options, the note carriers that Rob said, and we are going to use the XP version. Okay, so it's very simple. You are in the welcome page, you just need to go in the feature projects, search for the blues content, and then you can see the three different note carriers that we have. For use these note carriers in your project is very simple. You just need to come here and copy the project. When you copy the project, you are going to see our design canvas part. In the design canvas part is the place that you are going to build the architecture of your project. As you can see here, we have different blocks in our screen. They are part of the project, and with these combinations, we are going to start create your idea. Okay? You can add more functional blocks, you can delete, and then you can do everything that you want. Okay? This is going to be your project. For this demo, I will resolve for show you guys how you can see the note cards. Okay? We are using the note carry as future project, and then we are going to see all the note cards that we have. In the radio broadcasting, we resolve the platform, and then the platform search for solutions for this combination with this type of interface between the functional blocks. As you can see here in the top corner, we have all the Kubos found. Kubos, they are the solutions that we provide to you. And now we are going to see the note cards. Here in the radio broadcasting, you can click, and then here you can see more Kubo options. Okay? One information that is necessary to say is in the project settings for this project, we also place the information that we want to have, we want to have the blues as preferred manufacturer, okay? So in the project settings, when you are in the project specification, it's also necessary to say to the platform that you prefer to use the preferred manufacturer as blues. If you copy, as I'm showing right now, you don't need to do this step because it's already there. But if you start from scratch, you need to do this process, okay? And then save. After that, you can see here that we can open this functional block and see more Kubo options. When you see the Kubo options, we are going to have a list of solutions for you. As we say to the platform that we prefer the blues as manufacturer, we can see all the options for this example, okay? As you can see here, we have all the list of functional blocks, and we are in the radio broadcasting. You can see the schematic if you want. You can also open the solution. So you just need to click here, and then this new page will open. And then you can see all the description regarding the solutions, all the components who are necessary to this specific part, all the parts that this specific part of your project have, okay? You can also come here in the bill of materials of this Kubo, and then open the datasheet directly from the CELUS design platform. So you have all the information just in one place, okay? You can click here and then open and go to the Blues datasheet, okay? So it's very easy and it's a platform that you have all the information or necessary to you to build your project. After you select the option that you prefer, you can come here and then select the one that you prefer, okay? We have 3 options here. And then after you select the one that you want to use, you need to click in select and lock this option, okay? After you do these steps in all these parts, in all the parts of your project, you can come back here in the design canvas. As you can see here, now we have the Kubo log. And then doing this, you are telling the platform that you want to have this specific part in your project, okay? So in the end, we are going to have the Blues content. You need to do these steps in all the parts of your project because you are on the drive seat of your project and you need to decide which parts and which NPNs do you want to use in your project. After you log everything, you can generate the bill of materials and then you can see all the information in just one place, okay? As you can see here, we have the Blues content and we have the information that they are logged and they are related to this specific functional block. So here you can double check all the information after you go to the output files. After you check everything, you can come here in the output files and then download everything that we are going to provide to you. Okay, so the PDF with all the information, the CSV with the bill of materials, you can choose if you want consolidate or flat, and also the project package in the IDEA tool that you prefer, Altium, Fusion, or KiCad. After you download everything, you're going to have something similar to this. So as we copy the feature project, some information they are filled. In the project settings, we have this description of your project. You can edit it and have this document to share to someone and then keep doing the project as you prefer. So you have all the information here. You have your architecture in our design canvas and also all the parts of your project, all the schematic parts. And in the end, you are going to have the bill of materials. This is the PDF that we are going to provide to you. The bill of materials in CSV is something similar to this. In this way is the consolidated way. So all the components will be in this way here. And as you can see here, we have the Blues content, okay? And also the best part is the schematic in the layout. When you download, you are going to have this schematic, different parts of your projects in different pages. And this is the part that we want you to see, is the connector for the note cards, okay? And also in your layout, we are going to provide you something similar to this that you don't need to search and place the components in the best way possible. We have a team of electronics engineers that are developing all this content. So as you can see here, we have the connector for the note card and also the place that you need to place the note card. Different parts of the project, you are going to see that they are the components related to this main component, they are very close. So if you want to change something, you just need to grab this section and then move in the way that you prefer. So it's very easy and you can save a lot of time doing this because we do the first steps for you. Now you just need to shape your board, do the routing part, but all the information, they are here for you to use and they are very simple. And I think that's it. I don't know if Rob wants to say something or I can pass the word for you.
Yeah.
Um,
I think so. We just had a question that come in. They wanted clarification on the pricing for CELUS. How does it work?
The platform for the user is for free. So you just need to go there, register and use the platform. You just need to have one computer and the internet connection because it's also cloud-based. So you don't need to download the software. You just need to have the internet connection. Okay?
Another question came in about can you add a microcontroller onto the board? This is a two-part question there. So they want to know to see how they add a microcontroller to it. And then they're also curious if NXP is a preferred manufacturer at all.
Yeah, you can choose the preferred manufacturer as you prefer. You just need to come here in the project specifications, okay, in the project settings, and then here you can type the preferred manufacturer that you prefer. For example, if you prefer an XP, you can type and then select this one, okay? When you select this one and click Save, you can see the options regarding the NXP, okay? And for have my controller, you can use here the search bar and type my controller, and then you are going to add one my controller to your project. It's very easy. You just need to grab and drop as I show. And then now, if you resolve, the platform is will search for the solutions regarding all these functional blocks, and probably will show some NXP microcontrollers here in the microcontroller functional block. Okay.
Is the process similar? Like if you wanted to add, just say a sensor or an LED to this, what sort of steps would I take to do that?
Yeah, you can use the block sessions that I show you, and you can also use the design assistant. So I can type anything that I want here, and then our AI assistant will help you to do this part that I show you. So add a temperature sensor. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Was
And while she's looking through this, if you have any questions, this is about the time that we'll start looking through some. So thanks everybody that put those in. If you have any more, now's a great time to type those
yeah.
in.
So you can type, and then we are going to have a temperature sensor here. Okay, and they will create the disconnections between the microcontroller and the temperature sensor because usually you have these connections between them. Okay, here you can see that we have we have the interface I2C, but they are showing another one here, but it's right, the connection. Okay, it's just one thing that we need to change because every time they are showing supply, but the connections between them, they are right. Because usually what we have in the temperature sensor, they are the I2C interface. But as you can see, we have the I2C interface between them. And then now we just need to resolve, and then the platform will search for all these solutions. Okay?
Gotcha. So the resolve would be the process where it would actually look for a specific temperature sensor based off your preferred manufacturers and then just kind of try to.
Yes, yes. It's based on the preferred manufacturer. You can also choose the preferred MPN if you want to use. Um, and then also the platform will search for the connections between them. So
Okay.
if I have like, I don't know, like for this example, I have this amount of GPIO, 2 UARTs. If I don't have any solutions that have all these GPIOs, two UART and one I2C, probably the platform cannot find anything like this. Okay, so they will take care, they will think about the functional blocks, the connections between them, the preferred manufacturer, the preferred MPN, and then with this, the platform will search for this combination. Okay?
Okay.
In the end, probably if you cannot find some some content inside of the platform is because all the content that we created are by electronics engineers. So the content is not based on the AI. So we need to create this content, and then with this, our AI have all these connections and then create the combinations. Okay?
So yeah, I think you addressed this question. Somebody's asking about how the connections are added between the host MCU and the note card, but that again would be part of the resolve process, right?
Yeah, it's part of the resolve. So probably the platform will search for all these combinations. So we have in our code that in the backend will search, okay, we have all these connections from this side and from that specific side, and then have the combinations between them. Okay?
Does
Um,
it know, like, how does it know it has to make a connection? Is that
Yeah,
because the micro could go ahead.
yeah. For this example here, I know that I need to have a supply for my microcontroller and one supply for my temperature sensor, okay?
Yeah.
Because if I don't do these steps, probably my output will not have the connections between my supply, my USB connector, the supply from the USB connector in my controller, for example. Because I need to tell the platform that I need to have this specific one. To be more clear, if I want to use this specific one, I know that the USB connector probably have 5 volts. So if I want to use the 5 volts that are here in this supply, I need to select this connection. And when I see the arrow, I just need to click, grab, and drop when I see the yellow part. Now I'm telling the platform, I want to use this specific supply, this specific 5 volts that I have here. Okay?
Okay.
If I don't want to do this, I just need to come here and then delete this part. Okay? I delete this part. Okay, I want to use this specific one. So I will do the same thing. I will select, and then when I see the yellow in my dot, I will drop, and then I have these connections. Okay? In this way, when you are going to have the outputs in the schematic, in the layout, I will have these connections between them. Because sometimes we have a lot of ports in my controller, and if you never say that, okay, I want to use this one for this specific thing, will be there, but we will not have that connections between them. So for have all these connections, you need to come here and create. You can use the design assistant to create these connections for you too. Okay? So let's try to add the supply for our temperature sensor. Add the supply. So now we have our supply for our temperature sensor, okay? As you can see, we create the connections and they create from the power switching. If you want to use another one or say, hey, please grab the one that I create before, you can use the design assistant to help you. If you type more specific here for your prompt, you are going to have a best solution here in the design canvas, okay? So more detail, more specific will be your architecture, okay? If I type something that is not so specific, he will create something and then you can improve your prompt, and in the end you can have the things connecting the way that you prefer.
Got
You
it.
can also use here if you are not like for example, I'm from Brazil. If I want to type in Portuguese, I can also type in Portuguese and the platform will understand. Okay?
Excellent.
In the language that you prefer.
Bunch of other questions here. Somebody had a question. If you already have if if they already have a schematic, can they upload it, or do we have to do everything from like starting in CELUS?
Uh, we right now, and I think we are going to keep in this way. All the content that we have inside our platform is created by us. Okay, so if you want to add something that is not on our platform, probably what you need to do is when you have the outputs, you can edit it in the media tool that you prefer. But right now, and I think it's something that we are going to keep in this way, that all the content are created by us, and then in this way we can have the control of everything that you guys are going to use in your projects. In this way, we have like our team that are creating all the content for you. So we have like a process that someone needs to do this content, someone needs to review, someone needs to publish. So in this way, we can provide to you the best content.
Great.
We had a
Um,
good question come in about any examples, documentation to learn from a beginner's perspective. So I could start by answering that from a Blues perspective. So we offer a number of different starter kits. And for each starter kit that we have a series of tutorials that walk you through our ecosystem in kind of a step-by-step way. So if you go to dev.blues.com, there's going to be a big button to buy a kit, and you'll see a list of our starter kits. So we have starter kits for Wi-Fi, or for Cell Plus Wi-Fi, for satellite, and a few others as well. That's kind of our best getting started path. And then from the CELUS platform, do you have any recommendations? Like where should a beginner start?
Yeah, we had some YouTube videos if you want to check. We create like some step by steps. Also, sometimes we had some webinars like this one, but in the webinar, sometimes we do with more like detail the steps that you need to do. We also had our knowledge base. So if you want to check our knowledge base, you just need to go in our website and then check everything there. And that's it. And we also have this Slack community. So if you are trying to use the platform, if you are trying to do some steps and you are like blocked and you need some help, we are there to help you in the process. So we have all the support part that is for you guys, because in the end we want you to have the best experience and keep doing your projects with the CELUS design platform.
I'd say too that we're presenting this webinar as Blues plus CELUS. I'd say using the two technologies together is probably more of an intermediate thing as well. I would definitely recommend learning Blues in isolation, learning CELUS in isolation from simple steps with each, because the narrative we're doing showing like custom boards is something you'll probably want to do as you have a device working and as you are a little bit later in your journey. So just from a beginner's perspective, I'd focus on each platform in isolation to start.
Yes, I agree with you. And we also had like this is just one example, but you guys can try to use the platform in the way that you prefer. If you want to use the blues content, you just need to choose the radio broadcasting. You can also choose the G and and the Wi-Fi, because we have some content with the note card with cellular, with the note card with cellular and Wi-Fi, and we also had the note card with LoRa and the start note for these types of communications. So if you want to use the Blues content, you just need to search for these specific functional blocks, and then you can add and editate all the other parts in the way that you prefer.
Yeah, and I'll just say for anybody watching this, maybe watching the video, if you're starting out using this and there's a Blues product or a SKU that's not in CELUS yet, just reach out to us and let us know. That's feedback we'd love to have. I mean, obviously, ideally, we'd have every single product we have in there, but we have a lot and there's some time to go through that. So just if there's something that's missing and you really want to toy with or experiment with, just reach out and let us know.
do have a few more questions here I want to get through. There's a blue specific questions about what cellular certs does the note card have for all major carriers and global certs. For contractual, oh my goodness, I can't even say the word.
Contractual.
Contractual reasons, we can't disclose who our main carrier is in the US, but I assure you it's one of the well-known ones. And we also work through them with their first-class providers globally. And in each note card data sheet, you can see the specific country coverage that we offer. So all the important data is in our data sheets. And I got somebody else who's still skeptical of the free label, Carolina. What are the limitations of free?
Uh, we don't have any paid version, so it's the same for everyone, for every user. If you want to use the CELUS design platform, you can use and don't have any limitations. Okay, what we provide to you is the things that you all can see and you can all have. So this is for free. It's just for you to use.
I think like getting at how does CELUS make money then, or how do you intend to make money? Because I think that's
Yeah,
really what's getting at his
we
question, right?
always
Like,
have this.
yeah,
Yeah. So the way that we make money, it's like creating the partnerships with our partners. So you guys are our partners. So having you guys using our platform, we can have this way to have this business.
yep.
Yeah.
And I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it's good for users, right? It gives you just a
Yeah.
platform you can go in and tinker with and try out. So
For sure.
Yeah, and it's very simple and it's very easy to start to learn about or to develop your content, and yeah, that's it.
One more question here. Somebody's asking how you would add FPGAs, ASICs, other special chips.
Yeah,
A big one to
this
add.
is the a challenge for us. So we have some content, uh, but yeah, it's a lot of ports. It's a lot of connections. So right now we had some limitations, but with time we are improving and improving the platform, and we already had some content in there, and we are our company, we are improving day by day. So with time, we are going to have like this type of content in the best way possible. But we already had some content in FPGA. Okay.
Great. As we just wrap up here, I want to make sure I showed this slide off here. Of course, if you need more information, want to sign up with CELUS, head to celus.io. Again, dev resources for Blues at dev.blues.com. But most importantly, and again, I'll send this out in a follow-up email. There's two videos that were put together by someone kind of showing off how to start from scratch in CELUS, kind of like what you saw here, but it gets even more in depth with using KiCad to finish off your design. So there's two links here. Again, I'll send them off in the email as well. But if there aren't any other questions, I think we can wrap up. It looks like there are not. So thanks, Carolina. Thanks, TJ.
Thank
Thanks everyone for
you.
attending. This is great.
yeah, thanks everybody.
So super. Thank you.
All right, we'll see
Bye
you next
bye.
time.
See you.